Welcome to another Jaltest Marine webinar. This one is called Doing Surveys with Jaltest Marine. Jaltest Marine is an all makes, all models, all system diagnostics tool. As you may know, it's not just diagnostics, it's also technical information, the management tool, and the customer support. In this case, I'm going to focus on professionals that perform surveys, especially for insurance and brokers services. And at the end, I'm going to speak for a few seconds, minutes about winterizations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to connect to a vessel, how to look at your fault codes, check the measurements, do a data recorder, some maintenance task, how to generate the diagnosis report, and how to use not everything, because I'm gonna do a video in the near future just about GRP, the management tool, but here I'm gonna show how to create vessel and client lists and how to generate diagnosis report. This webinar is special because, as you can see, the server layout is different. We have changed it. It's completely new in our 20.1 version, and I expect to find it more intuitive, more easy to use, and also it's going to be faster. So it's going to be better. Okay. As you may know, we have 4 different models: inboards, outboards, watercrafts or jet skis, and stationary engines. Just so you can see the coverage. We have a fantastic diesel coverage, but also gasoline coverage. It's very important here. If you want, you can access directly. If it's a say SA standard or OBDM protocol, you could connect directly through these 2 options. If not, as usual, just click into one of the brands, then the model, and then connect. Let's go to the initial menu, outboards. You will see the outboards, all gasoline, same structure, same way of using the tool for one brand or the other. So this is going to be great, and learning curve is going to be low because it's different. Obviously, you have different specific functionalities from one brand to the other, but the way of using the tool is the same. Jet skis. And last but not least, stationary engines. This is important, very important. Why? I'm aware that we have a lot of users that do surveys, especially for the diesels. Although you see stationary engines here, like for example, generators or all type of machines, but obviously what we do is we connect to the stationary engines. If you're in an inboard and you don't find it in the inboard, try to look into the stationary engines model. Why? Because if it's the same engine and the same ECM, it's going to work. Okay, so this is very, very important for diesels. Okay, let's go back. What I'm going to do today is just 2 examples. One is going to be on an outboard and another one is going to be on an inboard. Okay, very simple, very easy. First, outboard, I want to show you a Suzuki. Now you can select the model you want. And now, very important, before connecting here, this is the connector symbol. This is the help menu for connectors you need. Here you can see connection 1, connection 2. Okay. And what you will see here is 2 different cables. As you may know, this is the 8-pin. Okay, and this one is the 4-pin. The 8-pin is for engines previous to 2008, and the 4-pin is for engines from 2008. Okay, so depending on where you are, what the type of engine, you need to select the correct route, otherwise it's not going to work. As you can see here, for example, we have either this way or this other way. It's going to work the same. This is the Marine adapter, the JDC 600, and this is another adapter that has an OBD end. And there you connect either the JDC 616A or M. Again, it's going to work the same way, okay? As you can see here, you have images. So we help you out from the beginning. We're guiding you through the process all the time. You have the locations, the connector image, pinout detail, and the cables you need. Here in this case, you don't see the JDC 600 or the 213M3, okay? What you see is the end of the proprietary connector, the Suzuki connector, 4-pin one, okay? Very simple. Okay, you have a plan B. Here you see multi-pins. If you click, you're gonna see something different. This is a plan B. In the case that you have lost the cable, you forgot it, or I don't know, whatever situation that you don't have it at the moment, you can use this cable. Okay, you have two pairs of the JTPs. Okay, in this case, this is the one you need. Okay, this is the. I mean, we're showing the yellow one. If you go to your high case, you will see yellow and blue. It's going to work the same. It's different colors, but it's going to work the same. These colors are very important. Okay, so these are very important. You need to connect the multi pins in the correct cable, okay, the correct color. So here you see JTP1, you take it, you just need one in this case, and then you connect it to B. B is yellow, okay, yellow. And then you connect it to pin 2, okay? So it's very simple. You click here, it will see pin 2, okay? Super simple. And all this is useful information, electrical supply using JDC10 AM2, okay? If you go to your hard case, you will see an extractable supply cable. You need to use it. Why? Because when you're using the multi-pins, you're just getting the communication. You're not getting the power supply from one of the pins. So it's mandatory to use this cable. Okay, so now it's very simple. You click direct connect or multi-pins and we click connect. And now we're connecting to the system. Okay, right now we're inside. As you can see, this is the diagnostics menu. Okay, so first thing we do is read fault codes. Click into accept. And we'll see our fault codes that are active. Okay, in this case, it's the same structure. We see the status of the code. In red is because it's active. We have the code, okay, the proprietary fault code, and then we have the description, okay? Jaltest Marine is a game changer. Why? Because we have additional information. We're very good in technical information, and we relate that technical information to the diagnostics. And we even um, improve many OEM tools because they don't give you this information and it's not inside the software. Very important, the technical information is taken from the official manuals. Okay, so first we click into I. Well, this is diagnostics. This is the freeze frame data, okay, when it last happened. And then this help and component of the fault. This is fantastic because we're telling you what components are related to the fault code. And then we give you additional information. You can click here and see information about the component. You'll see images. You can always click it. You will see operational values. And if we click into one of those, it's going to take us to measurements. Again, we relate technical information to diagnostics. So this is technical information. If we click here, we go to live measurements. And last but not least, here in this process is the wiring diagrams. I'm explaining you this because so you know what you can expect from Jaltest, because I know that many of you don't get into mechanics and maintenance, but you can give this information to your customer and increase the value of your service. At the end, the main objective is to give a report and an opinion to your client so your client can make better decisions. Okay, so if you can provide a better service, you will be able to charge more for your service. This is very simple, okay? What we do here is show you how every component is connected to the ECM. So left and right, we have the components. We can always click here and show component list. So you can see all the components. And then in the middle, what we have here is the ECM. So if we double click, we'll see all the pinouts, and you will know where exactly the component is connected. And then you can check if the problem comes from the sensor or from the wiring. Again, even if you don't get into the maintenance or mechanic side, you can always give this information to your customer. You can print this information if you want, yeah, diagram plus components or just diagram. Okay, very simple. We go back again. Okay, so now let me show you the operation data. Very important also for you guys. In some brands, you will find it inside system data, and in other ones, you will find an option that says operation data. Okay, in some of them, you can find it inside measurements too. Okay, so you know where to find it. Here, system data. Okay, so first, all these other warnings, these are for example, warning one is the most recent events. Okay, here in Suzuki, as you may know, we don't have non-active fault codes. Once it gets not active, it's being erased from the ECM. That's how Suzuki works. But you can get in this place to check the events, the most recent events, and how the measurements were. Okay, and also I will show you afterwards the failure counter. So all this is being saved on the diagnosis report. We can click here at any time and we're going to see a preview of the diagnosis report. But when we save it is when we disconnect and we get out of the ECM, the software is going to ask us if we want to save it. So we go back again, operating times. And this is very important because you will know the hours, the operation time hours, minutes. Here in demo mode, normally we'll see here, if it's 64, you will see 1 more hour and just 4 minutes. Okay, but we're in demo mode. And here, what you see is the time in the different ranges. So this is very important to give a better evaluation to your customer. We go back again, and now oil change can be useful sometime at some point. You will see the number of times we have performed an oil change and also the time remaining for the next oil change. Okay, here it depends on the ECM. Normally Suzuki is about 100 hours, but it will depend on the ECM and how it has been programmed. If we go out and we go to maintenance, okay, here we have reset after the maintenance. So here, well, this is the expert mode code. This is important because if we don't have this code, you won't be able to do tasks that requires to write on the ECM. Okay, it's totally free. You can request it from our website, jaltest.com. You go to the customer area, you type your login email information and password, and then you get into the expert mode code area. You type your name, phone number, and email, and you will receive it right away. Okay. So now we click accept and we go inside, okay? And now you just need to follow the instructions. In this case, we'll pull out a technical release because you have to do it manually. Although if you don't have this information, you won't be able to do it, okay? So in this case, as you can see, normally in the instrumentation, you will see like a flashing or beeps, and so you know that you need to do an oil change. And here we have, in this case, 5 different pages. You can move forward and just follow the steps, okay? Very simple. Once we do this, we can go back again to the oil change place and you will see one more oil change. Okay, we go back to our menu. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to monitoring or measurements. That's what I was saying before, failure counter. You click here again in Suzuki, there's no non-active fault codes. Okay, once it's non-active, it's being erased. But here we can see a failure counter of the different events. Now we can click here and you will see the number of times these events happened. Very, very useful also if you try to do a survey on, in this case, a Suzuki engine. Also important, you can click here, you will see it. This is the question mark. Okay, and now what I was saying before, we relate the technical information with the diagnostics. So in this case, you can click and you will see additional information. And if we click here, we're gonna take you to the diagram. Okay, so all this is very important because we're always trying to relate the diagnostics and the technical information. Go back, and now two things: system display. Whenever you see system display, you're gonna see some measures, and you will see like more graphically, um, like in a big picture. Especially if you're not too versed on this engine, you will see this, and it will be easier for you to understand. Anyway, you can always get out from here and go to live data selection and see those same measures and also many more. You will see all of them here, or you can do it by groups. Okay. I'm just gonna do like a little example. For example, an overheating test. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna click engine here, engine speed, and then every measure from temperature. And now we have different ways that we can see our measures. One is like this, gauges. We have also this. This is the graphics. You have all your measure here. If you have more than one, you can remove them. You can add them. You can stop. You can go back. You can move forward. Okay. And the last one is this one is to see the the number, the value. Sometimes is like if it's on or off, but as you want to see like gauges or graphics is just the value. Okay. Important. Everything that we're doing is being saved under the diagnosis report. Okay. But if you want to save it with the gauges or the graphs, you can always do a screenshot and include in the diagnosis report. For example, I can click stop. I click here into the camera symbol and include in diagnosis report. Okay. We go back again, and now you can see a preview of the diagnosis report. This is very, very important for you. The diagnosis report. You can put your logo here. You will see date, start time, and close time. That's the time that you have spent connected to the engine. User, because we can create different user IDs. If you're working even by yourself, or if you're more people in a company and you share the tool, each of one can have your own user ID. So then you will be recognized on the diagnosis report. Here I haven't recorded this engine yet under any customer or vessel, but I can do it afterwards, okay? And you will see everything that we have been doing. You need again to get inside, so it's being saved. If you don't get inside, it's not going to be saved. For example, in here, this is what I was showing you. You can see a screenshot of the graph. Okay, here, new group. If you are doing different tests and you don't want to select them one by one every time, you can just click here again, a new group, and you can call it overheating test. I click yes, okay. And now it's asking me if I want to synchronize with the GRP model, the management tool. Why is this? Because we can activate the GRP Synchro. With every Jaltest Marine tool, we can install it in up to 3 devices, okay, 3 computers or tablets that are Windows based. And then everything that you are doing from one computer or the other will be saved under the same network. So if you have activated the GRP Synchro, every time you are creating something, it's going to ask you if you want to synchronize with the GRP. If you don't have internet at that moment, don't worry because you don't need it. Just at some point in the future, you can synchronize, and that's it. Now I'm going back, and as you can see, this is our customized test. Okay, as you can see, it was very, 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 very simple. I can click here again, and I will say this again. Okay, Why this is important when I'm doing this test? Because I can see if, for example, the cooling system is not working correctly. Here, for example, in cylinder temperature, it should be around 90 degrees Celsius. I believe it's about 194 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and if it's around 100 degrees Celsius, or the equivalent, I think it's about 214 Fahrenheit. I know that maybe there's something wrong with the cooling system. So again, I can click here into the question mark. Okay. And I will see my information, location of the sensor, operational values. I can click here and it will take me directly to the diagrams. I will know how it's connected to DC, and so I can check the sensor or the wiring. So everything is in the same software. No need to check other in other places like YouTube or PDFs. Everything is going to be in the same software. You can then print it and give it to your customer. Here, more things, vessel technical data. This is technical information, okay? Very useful tool. Again, and I know that most of you are not going to get into the maintenance process, but if you can give this information to the customer, it will increase the value of your service. Okay, so for example, here I can go to the cylinder head, and I will see all the information I need. Okay. Also, I can go to adjustments and tolerance. I will see the valve adjustment values. Okay. So this is very, very important. As you can see, I checked the codes, then I did all the operation data. I saw the measurements, and it took me to the technical information to check information I need to do my maintenance task. Let's go back to the diagnostics menu. And the last thing here is going to be the data recorder. This is fantastic. This is a new thing from last year. We can select different measures and we can record up to 30 minutes. Okay, so we can do a C trail and record it. And then here we can access our data player and we have everything saved. So it's not just your diagnosis reports. You will be saving too, if you want to, your C trails, your measurements, and save it for the future. Now I'm just going to take 3 measures and I'm going to click accept. Now I can remain here up to 30 minutes. So once I'm done, I can click here and that's it. And right now it's asking me if I want to play the measurements. I can click accept or cancel. Doesn't matter. In this case, I'm going to click accept to show it to you. Now we have 3 menus. We have read flow codes, system data, and we have measurements. Okay, so right now we can click into play. And we will know in the exact minute and second when we had an active flow code, all the guided diagnostics with all the help and component of the help for the component. You have the measurements. Sorry, here you have the measures related to the code. So this is super useful for professionals like you. I'm going to click into finish, accept, and I'm going back to the initial menu of the software. And now it's asking me if I want to save the diagnosis report. I will click yes. Very simple. I can do 2 things. I can either create a new vessel, a new customer, or I can just access my portfolio and I can add it to an existing engine and an existing customer. Okay. In this case, I'm gonna click into associate new vessel. I'm gonna select where I am. I can just type everything here. Okay. Very simple. Very, very, very simple. And now I can either add it to an existing customer or I can create a new one. So here I will create associate new customer and you can put anything. Okay. So in this case, I'll put 123 Marine. Then you just need to add all the information: tax ID, address, email, phone number, etc. You can also, here in contact details, you can add contacts, so you can put everybody from that company: name, position, and phone number, and everything is going to be saved here in the GRP, the management tool. Okay, very simple. Okay. Oh yeah, add from the list. Yeah, I have just created the Suzuki one here. That's it. So it's very simple. Now I'm generating the diagnosis report. And as I said before, it asks me if I want to synchronize with the GRP. I can click no, doesn't matter. But once I'm try to connect to the GRP, it's going to ask me if I want to synchronize. I can just click yes at that moment, and that's it. Let's go back. Let's show you another example with a diesel engine. I'm going to take a Cummins, a QSC 8.3. Again, we select here the connector symbol. Here we have just one option. You don't have two connectors. You have two different routes, although it's going to be the same 9 pin at the end. Okay, so you have either the JDC 600 plus JDC 606M, or directly just the JDC 217M3. Okay, same thing, same structure, images of the locations, possible locations, the connector image, pinout details, and the cable you need with the port number. Same thing, you're going to use the multi-pin, so you click here, and now you will see it's the same. Here you will need to use two multi-pins, okay? But it's the same process. JTP3, you take the two of them, the yellow and blue one, okay? And then you connect one to A, that's blue, and the other one to C, that's gray, okay? And then you need to connect the first one to C and the other one to D. Very simple. Blue, you connect it to C, and gray to D. And again, use your external power supply cable to give power supply to your vessel. Something very, very important. You click here, you click into Jaltest link here, where you can change from USB to Bluetooth connection, but I was getting here because of this connection test. This is super important. If you try to connect, it's not working, and you get here inside of the main menu, Jaltest link, and you perform a connection test, and you see USB, it's not going to work. Why? Because you're just getting the voltage from your computer. You need to see something around either 12 or 24 volts. Okay, this is very important. So if you see USB, you did something wrong, or there's something wrong with the connector from the engine. You can switch on. So this is very important. So you know the information, and you need to see what's going on. Okay, so right now, very simple. We connect again. And now we're getting inside. As you can see, or you're gonna see, is the same structure. You'll find things, and read full codes is in the same selection, and so on. Obviously, depending on the engine or the system where you're connected, you will find more or less functions, okay? But the way of using the tool is the same, okay? So again, we can click to read full codes. You will see this. Again, active full code, proprietary full code. Number of time you had that situation. This is some alarms if it's like high priority, very high priority, and the description. You have these two options again: freeze frame data, important, health and component of default. You will see this information, components related to the full code. You click here to see information about the component, and you will see all this: images, location, operational values. And the last thing here is checking the wiring diagrams. As I showed you before, you can print the information and give it to your customer if you want. Very simple to understand. You can be connected to a comment, to Suzuki, to I don't know, a Detroit diesel stationary engine, but you will see things in the same way. Okay, here very simple. This is a combined temperature and pressure sensor. You can see the communication. In this case, the temperature comes from the pin 23, pressure 44, and you have the negative in 47. and positive in 37. Okay, you need to see what is the socket where you are. Here's X2. You double click and you will see this X2, and then I think it was 23, 44. So you just need to count. So this is 10, 20. So this is going to be 21, 22, 23. Okay. So I think the temperature pin was this one. Okay. So it's very simple. You know where it's connected, and the software is going to tell you. Let's go back. Operation data. Here, as you can see, it's not inside system data. Okay. You have your own menu. You have data record. You can see the total and the partial. Okay, the total you cannot erase it, and the partial you can erase it. Okay, so this, if you start working with a company, it would be a good idea to reset the values so you know the performance of the engine during the time you're working with them. Here you can see it. You have all this detailed information. It will be saved here under the diagnostics report, but here you can see in like an Excel symbol. You can always click here and download it in an Excel sheet. Okay, we go back again, and here clear data record. Here again, extra mode code. Why? Because we're gonna write on the ACM. Click accept, and now we can click here into reset, and it tells you, okay, modification successfully done. Turn the ignition key until it is set to the log. Okay, you switch off, you wait for 30 seconds. This is a new thing. It seems simple, and it is, but it's useful. You can then wait for your 30 seconds, and then that's it. You can click again, you switch on, and then you click into accept. Very simple. Now you were in demo mode. Otherwise, you will see everything say with a 0. Okay. As you can see, it's very intuitive, very easy to use. But if at any time you have any doubt or question, you can click in the question mark, contact details, and you will see, for example, here in our case in the USA, you will see email, phone, email. Okay. We can at some point do remote assistance. Okay, we can remote in your computer and see what's going on. And also you have here the option Jaltest feedback. This is very important because we will get in direct communication with our engineering department in our headquarters. Okay, so you have different options. Okay, so after this, let's get into measurements. Let's click here and let's do another test. Okay, I'm gonna do a turbocharger test. No, sorry, this once I save it. Let me find engine load, engine speed, intake, temperature, and intake air pressure. And fuel pressure or injection rate, I will take nominal and real value. Okay, we have selected 6 measures. Here we can always click into new group, and now you put turbocharger test. We click no. And now we have the same 3 options I showed you before with the gauges. You have the graphs, and then you can see the value. Here again, intake air pressure. You can always click into the question mark and you will see more information. Okay. In this case, you will see the values where you need to be in. So if you are not in those values, you know that you might have some problem. Okay. Same situation, you can access the vessel technical data and you can see additional information that can be useful. This again, we take all this from the official manuals, the technical information, and we filter the most important things. Go to the tiny torques. You will see all this information that's super useful for your work. Let's go back to the diagnostics menu. And I'm not going to repeat the process because it's the same. The data recorder, but you can always click into data recorder and do the same thing we did for the Suzuki. Now let's disconnect. We go back. Yeah. And now I didn't save it because it's the same thing, okay? But it was the same process. Once you get out, you are asked if you want to save it. You click either yes or no. If you click yes, you create a new vessel or client, or you add it to a specific um, vessel or customer from your list. Okay. Now let's get into the GRP. This is our management tool. Again, I'm gonna do a video in the near future explaining everything, but at least super important human resources. Okay, from here you can create your different users. As you can see, I'm identified. Okay, you have your GRP Synchro. To do the activation, you click here and you click into GRP Synchro and you just activate this. Okay, you need internet for sure to do this. Okay, so now important customer list. Now you can retrieve all this information or you can add a new customer. So you don't need to create it once you are generating a report, but you can too. But you can also come here and do it, okay? Or you can erase the information and all that. The same thing for vessel list, and you will see all this information. It's super important to save as much information as possible because if after 1 year you have 500 diagnosis report, if you cannot filter all this information, you're going to lose time. Okay. Then reports. In reports, you can access one of them. Example, this is the one that we did today. You click into the eye symbol and you're getting inside. And then you can, if you want, you can print it as a PDF. Okay. Something new from this version 20.1 is click here, click into configuration, then send to an email address. This is new. This is super cool because you can activate this either for diagnosis and or maintenance report. You can type your email address. So every time you generate a report, we'll send an email to your email address and then you can forward it to your customer. Okay. Let's get out from the GRP. And last thing, the winterization. There's one brand, Evinrude, where you can do the winterization with the software. Let's connect. You click here in maintenance and winterization mode. Again, we're gonna write on the ECN. That's why we need the export mode code. We click accept, and we're going to open a technical release because you have to do it manually, but you need to follow the steps. Okay. Also, the vessel type, etc. Everything is explained. In the other brands, you have to do it manually. I am aware that depending on if it's an outboard or an inboard or depending on the engine, the process is going to be different. But in general, you have to disconnect the battery, use a product to prevent corrosion in the engine. You need to remove the intake manifold and isolate the combustion chamber to prevent humidity, and that's it. And then either a dry dock or on the water, you don't use it for several months until the next season. Here, why it's used for Jaltest Marine, because once you connect everything after the winter, you will be able to check if everything is working right. Also, you can generate a report before the winterization and after the winterization. So you have all the information and you can send it to the customer. Okay. We might do a video in the following months, close to the end of the season, to explain this more in detail. But again, the idea here is that you need to know that Jaltest Marine is not just for mechanics, it's also to do services, like surveys, like winterization, and we can take advantage from this tool to do our work and generate value and generate income. Okay, let's go out again. Now, we can save it or not. You can even save it without adding this information to a vessel or a customer, and there's no problem. But again, if then you want to retrieve this information, you're going to be less efficient because you will need to figure out if it's from one customer or the other. So thank you for being with us. Again, if you have any type of questions, click here into the question mark, contact details, and you have our contact information. If you are from another country and your customer support are taking care from another of our subsidiaries of the headquarters, you have all the information here. So at the end, the objective was to show you how simple it is to use Jaltest Marine as an Omex tool, and that we can provide everything you need to do your work. Here at the end, the main objective is to give a better service, giving more information and better information to your customers. And if they can take better decisions because you're using a tool like this and you're giving a great reports, you're adding value. And again, this is an investment to generate income. And we go to the doctor, and we have our historical information, and here's the same. You can access the GRP and see the historical information from all your customers and all vessels. Okay, thank you for watching us, and expect more videos in the near future. Thank you very much.